Hi everybody, this is Cheryl and I'm ready to teach you how to do the single crochet. By now you should have been able to do your chain and you've got that down pretty good. Now let's take a look at this chain. Alright, your chain stitch has 2 loops on the top. Do you see the 2 loops there? And if you turn it over, you have on the back side 1 loop. Alright, now when you're making your single crochet, if you need 15 stitches for your row, you make 16 chains. Now, your pattern is going to tell you, how many chains you need. But when you're making something, a square for an Afghan, for an example, you always make 1 more chain than your than what you need, and I'll explain that to you in a second. Right now, looking at these loops, there's several ways of going into it, and it varies. Pay attention to your pattern and your pattern book, because they will tell you how many or how to go into your chain. Every pattern book has it differently because the patterns are different. Alright, so what you do is I'm going to teach you how I do it, and what you do is you skip your first chain, okay? And you go into, let's see if I can, you go into towards the bottom, and your, so you're going through the top and the back loop, all right? You wrap your yarn around your hook and pull it through. So you have 2 loops on your hook. You wrap your yarn around, pull it through both loops, and you have your single crochet. Okay, so go to the next chain, go through your chain, draw a loop around your hook, around your hook again, and through the 2 loops on the hook, you've got a next single crochet. Just keep going down your chain, go into your next chain, draw up a loop. Now I'm really messing up with this awkward position. Go into your loop, draw up, yarn around hook, and just keep pulling it through. So you're just going into your chain and drawing a loop through. Now remember, I said that crochet is made up of nothing but chains. It just depends on where you go into your work and how many times you wrap your yarn around your hook, and how many times you pull it through. But it's nothing more than chain stitches. That's all it is. All right, I'm going to finish this row real quick so I can show you how to turn. I'm pretty excited about the projects I have going on right now, and the things that I'm doing. I've actually discovered, and I hope I pronounce this right, Crochet knit. It's actually a Afghan stitch, but it's worked with a double pointed hook, and you use 2 colors, and I am so excited about this. I had this hook for many years, but I didn't really understand the instructions that came with it. Weren't real clear, and I didn't really understand what they were saying in the instructions, but I finally figured it out, and I'm so excited because I've got this it's a new toy for me. All right, so I've finished this row. Now this is what your row. Now it's going to twist a little bit. That's fine. It will do that. Do you see my row of single crochet? Okay. Now, again, you need to pay attention to your pattern. Some patterns will have you turn your work and then chain. Others will have you chain and then turn. I'm going to show you both. Okay, to chain one, what you're doing is you're actually going up to build another row on top of this. So you need to chain one. It's like taking a step up the stairs. You know, you chain one. So you make one chain like that. You turn your work around so that your backside, that's the backside of it, is facing you. Okay? Now then, sometimes that chain will count as your first stitch. For most single crochet work, it does not. It's just there, okay, to help you step up. So what you do is you take your hook and you go through the top 2 loops. You see this? Here's your single crochet, and then you have these loops at the top. Do you see that? Okay, and that's where you're working through, those 2 loops. So you go through the top 2 loops, draw a loop through, yarn over hook, or draw a loop through, and through the 2, and you're just making a single crochet, okay, across there. And you just continue across, going through the top 2 loops of your previous single crochet, okay? And that is making your second row, okay? And you just go through the top loop, draw your yarn through, and then the yarn over and draw through the 2 loops on your hook, okay? All right, now let me finish this. So, you know, pay attention again to your pattern, because it will tell you whether you chain one before or after you turn. Now I showed you how to chain one before you turn on your now I got to the end of the row. Now if it tells you to chain one or turn and then chain one, you simply turn your work around and you draw your, it will look like this, okay? Can you see that? You just yarn over and make a chain. And then the same thing. You just go into the top 2 loops, draw yarn through, and then yarn over and, whoops, started to do a half double. And just continue on, okay? Back and forth. Now this method is working in rows. Later on, after we've completed all the stitches, I'll teach you how to make working in rounds. Rounds is simply working in a circle, but this is rows, okay? Now you'll have to pay attention, and I will teach about abbreviations and, how to read your patterns with using abbreviations, but usually it just says row. But you just continue on crocheting across your pattern, and you can go up as high as you want to on this, and create yourself a little square. Let me show you one that I've done. This was what's called a swatch. Okay, this is what you're working towards. Okay, and I had done this. It was a test swatch for angel skirt actually, and I'll teach you about gauge later. But this is what a swatch of single crochet rows would look like. Okay, can you see that? No, I'm sorry. This is not. This is half double crochet. But basically, it looks the same. You'll have these rows like this. Okay? All right. And that should do it for this time. Practice on your chain, practice on your single crochet. And the next time, I will teach you about half double crochet. All right? And you all have a very nice day.